One of our regular viewers brings up a point about the preheating on the Ludicrous mode and the new Tesla V3 software for preheating the battery. What we're going to do out in the morning is go out to one of the superchargers and see if preheating about 30 minutes before we arrive makes a difference, assuming that I don't get a software update before then. Slight change of plans. We're still doing that trip, but instead we're going to the Macon, Georgia superchargers. So we'll see where the first stop on the way is, and then we'll go ahead and, assuming it's not Savannah, we'll go ahead and do the preheat test. If it is Savannah, it's not going to work. They're still having issues keeping the speeds up on that station. I don't know why. So if it is, then we'll do the minimum there, and we'll do the heat at Macon. I forgot to mention that it is currently 45 degrees. We've bumped the charge up to 90%. It's sat overnight in 40-ish degree weather for about 7.5 hours. So I don't know if that even matters. We'll see what I can get from the charts to show you guys, but we'll go from there. Catch you at the next stop. Our first stop is unfortunately Savannah, so we're gonna have to hold off on this experiment until we actually get to Macon. So we'll see you at the airport. Okay, we're about to approach the exit for the Savannah supercharger in about 6.6 miles. There's nobody there now, but the odds of us finding any high-speed chargers there, the installation can do up to 120 kilowatts, but we haven't seen that in many months. Both people in the club and just random people on the forums and other places. So I didn't do the preheat. And by the time we get to where we're going in Georgia, I'll have cooled it down enough to try again, and we'll see how it goes. This is the fastest I've seen at the Savannah supercharger in quite some time. We're getting 101 kilowatts. So we'll be here for 40 minutes. We just left Savannah Airport and waited quite a while for the Taco Bell to get our food today. And now we're headed over to Macon. See you on the flip side. It would seem that the 7-layer burrito in some markets is not a meatless product. So this is like the third time now that I've got a 7-layer burrito that had the ground beef product on it, and my understanding, at least in most of the places I've ordered it, it doesn't come with meat. So I don't understand, but everybody looks at me like I'm crazy, like, we gave you free meat. I'm like, I don't eat meat! So it's wasteful. Onward to Macon. Okay, we're now 30 minutes from the Macon, Georgia supercharger, so we're going to go ahead and turn on Ludicrous Plus mode with the Easter egg, so that we get the battery heater. So you don't need to hold that one. If you use the Ludicrous button, you gotta hold it. So, no, my mommy, we're gonna yes, bring it on. Alright, then over here, we've now got a battery temperature of 40°C. So we actually probably don't even need Ludicrous mode just yet. Let's see how long it wants to take to heat up. So it's gonna take about 30 minutes to get to 50°C. So we'll see if that's good or not. Alright, let's turn off map and switch to, so we're not at temperature to get the gauges yet. So other than knowing the battery's at 40°C, we don't know much else about the system right now. Other than it's going to take 30 minutes to get to 50°C. But over here, there would be another option for readouts if we were warm enough, which we aren't. Depending on when I post this versus when I post the track day video, you'll either already know what it looks like or you'll see it today, and then you'll see it again that day. Pretty cool stuff. Alright, so we'll see you when we get there or when this thing heats up, whichever happens first. Hopefully by the time that I get the update, I'll also have Tesla Spy, but if I don't, I just realized that Ludicrous mode, as long as whatever temperature the optimal temperature is that the software uses to make you charge faster, as long as it's above 20C, I'll be able to see what it picks, roughly. So that's not a bad thing. We'll be able to see if it is like, I think 40C might be it. If it is 50 or more, we'll see that, because the Ludicrous thermometer shows you what the car is trying to do. So this isn't a completely invalid test. It's just not scientifically sound because we're only getting one data point. So this turns out better than I expected it would. So we're now 25 minutes away from the supercharger, so we'll see you when we get there. It'll be a combo of this and recording the supercharger review. So 8 minutes to the Macon supercharger and 10 minutes estimated completion to full Ludicrous Plus mode. Heating the battery may be counterintuitive, but what heating the battery does do is decrease the internal resistance of the cells, so you can get more power in and out of the battery. So what the 50C comes out to be is about 122 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm guessing that Tesla's decided that's just what's best for their cells to have the most ability to put out the power. So we'll see if that affects supercharging or not when we get there in 6 minutes. So it's about time for us to start setting up for our supercharger review. So we'll, if you care to watch that, I'll put a card link in that up here in the top right, and you can watch that too. In the meantime, we'll see you on the flip side. The battery is pretty much going to be there before we are because of this detour. It is at what looks like 49C. Now, for the supercharger review people, that might not matter, but for the battery experiment people, that is very important. I'm just going to use this clip in both parts, in both videos. The thing is, we're going to go to 90% today, so we probably will actually catch a bit of the parade. Put that on tape. That might be fun. Alright, let's put it in park and see if we have our displays. We do not yet have our displays, but that's fine. Let's get plugged up. We're pretty much at 50C, so we'll see what happens. You can hear the battery heater clearly here. And its fan. That vent is at the wheel. Right in front of it, next to it. Alright, we'll cancel our nav. Yeah, a bunch of small dogs. Alright, and we have just now hit temperature, so we can actually see the battery power. Alright, so we can see the battery power. We're currently pulling in negative 40, 50 kilowatts. It's amazing. We're going to close this door because there's wasps flying around. Alright, 108, 109, 110, 11, 9. Alright, so we'll see how long it holds this, and we'll look at the chart on the Tesla Fi to see if it changes anything. Alright, so it tells us 1 hour to 90%, which I think is kind of a high estimate to get to 90%, so perhaps heating to a full 50 degrees centigrade is going to slow it down a bit. Yeah, it's already down to 107. So last time I saw it get really high numbers like this, it was... well, let me get out of the mode. It only holds it for an hour, and we don't need it to hold 50 anymore. We just want it to arrive at 50. So we're going to turn off, put it in chill mode. Max battery power said ready. Go back to Ludicrous because I don't like driving in chill. And that tells it not to hold the temperature anymore, so now it can go wherever it wants to go. And we'll see if that actually takes an hour to get to 90% or not. Basically what I'm looking for here is to see when it drops, and then we'll go ahead and do the rest of the supercharger review, because with the parade going on, it looks like we probably will be here for a little while. Alright, the cooling fans have kicked in. Not that that means too much. Last time we left it in battery heating mode, and the cooling fans still kicked in. So basically we'll see how quickly it goes below 100 kilowatts. We'll probably end up just comparing that on the graph, and I'll overlay it over the video here. Alright, we haven't been here 10 minutes, and the time remaining has dropped to 50, which is a normal time for us to get to 90%, so maybe this made a difference. Outside temperature is currently 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I figure that might have the most impact over what we saw last time. It was right near freezing last time. And again, what we're trying to figure out is what effect heating it to ludicrous temperatures has on it. What heating the battery to ludicrous has on the charge cycle. And we don't want to hold ludicrous temperature because the car can handle its own charging once it is plugged in. So we heated it to ludicrous, plugged in, and then we turned off ludicrous. Oh, sorry, we heated it to ludicrous plus, and then turned off the max battery mode, and now we're going to see how it behaves. So we've already added 20 miles. While we're talking about supercharging, if you're in the market for a Tesla Model X, S, or Model Y, sorry, if you're in the market for Tesla Model S, Tesla Model 3, or Tesla Model X, you can use my code here on screen, ts.la/Casey1109. You'll get 1,000 free miles of supercharging, and they'll also do the same for us. All right, while we wait on this, we're going to go ahead and key in our next destination. We will go to the Tom Hill Senior Boulevard Supercharger in Macon, Georgia. This is a 10-stall location on Tom Hill Senior Boulevard. Tesla is super original with their naming. If it's the first one in the city, it's the name of the city. If it's any subsequent one, it's so far has been the name of the city and the street. I don't fault them for that. Navigate. And it tells us we have enough charge to get there now. But that would negate our experiment. Alright, so we're still holding 112. I think what I'll do is I will take screenshots of several charging sessions, supercharging sessions with this car, and then I'll post them on a link on my personal website and put a link in the description so that you can manually compare everything yourself. In fact, I may go a step further and paste all the tables into Microsoft Excel and make an Excel sheet out of it. We'll see how much manual labor that requires. If it's straightforward, I'll do that, paste them in so you can peruse the tables yourself. If not, I'll do screenshots of them. While we're at it, we're going to change the metric to percent, so that those of you that can do the calculations that way, you can get them off of percent. It's impressive. Just a few minutes and we've added the entire capacity of my old Chevrolet Volt. We've gone from about 28% to 40%. Okay, here we are at 50%, and we're still over 100 kilowatts. I think at this point we've added more energy than the original Nissan Leaf could hold. I know for sure when we get to 30, we'll be over some of the new ones. There's a couple interesting things about 90 kilowatts. That was the original speed of the superchargers, as well as the A batteries. The original batteries on the Model S could only take 90 kilowatts on the original Model S's. And if you had a 90D battery, or basically if you had a 90 battery, when you get to the point where you've supercharged or DC charged too many times and they put a limit on you, the fastest your car will charge is 90 kilowatts, but actually it's usually even lower than that if you ask folks like Chris K-Man Auto. So 90 is a very special number in Tesla supercharger land. Oh wow. They're changing the price on all the cars on the ground 3% on April 1st. They're going to go up. The cars that are out already done, he's going to raise the price 3% on April 1. Supercharging is almost complete. Usually it wants me at 80%, but now it's at 72%. So I've noticed the car is doing these clicking sounds as if the contactors are coming undone, but they're more from the middle and front of the car. I wonder if that is for cooling. It definitely hasn't stopped charging yet. It wouldn't disconnect at 38 kilowatts. Okay, a little bit of news. Elon Musk says that on Twitter, he says that the referral codes can be used on the Model Y for the 1,000 miles of free supercharging when the vehicle goes into production. But obviously, the referral program could change again by then. But if you want to risk getting further behind in line, you can go ahead and wait and then use somebody's referral code then. Or you can order a second one and cancel the first one if the program is still there. That's probably what I would do. It says 10 minutes to get to 90%. We're at 89%. And 5 minutes now. So I'm wondering if it's doing any like cell balancing or anything at this point. Because it's still pulling 34 kilowatts. So it should be done much quicker than 5 minutes. The good thing is we're the only ones here, so idle fees will not be an issue. Alright, we're at 90% now, and it still says 5 minutes, so it's obviously doing some bouncing and maintenance to the pack. And charging complete. Alright, let me go unplug. Then we'll pull forward and... I don't know, I think at the beginning it definitely did make a difference, so if I was going to supercharger hop like I prefer to do, this might be the way I'll do it in the future. At least until that software update comes in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go do a quick look around the Macon, Georgia supercharger, and then we will get back in the car and we will go to the other Macon, Georgia supercharger, the one with the street name. Catch you in a little bit. So we added 65 kilowatt hours, which is... on this car, $190 rated miles. It's still 80 degrees outside, so the temperature did not have any significant variation. Okay, it's now the next day, and we made it home about 1:30 or so. We ended up not just doing the first Macon, Georgia supercharger, we did the second, and we also did Tifton, Georgia, which completes most of the southeast for us. All that's left is Florida as far as that bottom cluster of states. We've got North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia complete. Half of Florida. The other states, Alabama, Mississippi, etc., I'll have to find a schedule and an excuse to get out there. We just don't have any business out there. But it'll happen. But probably Virginia and Tennessee will get done first. And I want to go ahead and say that it looks like the battery heating does do the trick. I may have heated it too much. We'll find out when I get the update for the en route conditioning. And then from there, I'll go ahead and agree with Tesla Bjorn that using the Ludicrous mode heater to heat the battery pack to warm it up from cold, where you've got the dashed lines where it won't let you regen too much, I'll agree that that is not very effective. But I will say that it is extremely effective at keeping the charge rate decently high, based on what I've seen. Now, like I said, we'll go ahead and we'll pull some of the other charging sessions and compare them, and I'll put them on a link on my personal site, and then I'll try to get some screenshots of them on this video as well, so you guys can look over them. But this might be something to do if I'm in a hurry until the update happens, but I usually don't do long trips on that sort of schedule. Sometimes they come up. So, catch you on the flip side. I want to thank you for watching Fossil School Bus. I want to thank you for watching, ask you for a like and subscribe, and if you could leave a comment down below, it really helps me cover topics that you guys are actually interested in. Fossil cement truck. It helps me cover topics that you guys are interested in, and if you like what you see, if you can share it with a friend, that really helps out the channel. Thank you very much. Also wanted to mention that if you're in the market for a Tesla Model S, Model X, or Model 3, or if you're watching this video later when the Model Y has entered production, you can use my code KC1109. I'll put that on the screen here. That'll get us each 1,000 miles of supercharging on the Supercharger network at no additional charge.